If you're curious to learn more about Korean hair care, then stick around because on today's episode, we are going to go through some of the most popular Korean hair care products, as well as some things about the Korean hair care industry that might surprise you. Hello and welcome to the Korean Beauty Show podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Lee, lawyer turned entrepreneur and founder of Korean skincare brand Jellyco. On this show, I teach you everything that I've learned from living in Korea and working in the industry for over a decade so that you can perfect your own Korean beauty routine. So welcome back to the show. This is, of course, one of our deep dive episodes where we go into a little bit more depth about a particular area of the industry. And this was actually a requested episode. One of our YouTube subscribers reached out when we were doing the roundup of our popular Korean beauty and makeup products in 2024. And she said, can you please do an episode on Korean hair care? And I said that I would. So I've gone away and put together, I guess, an episode. And just an apology for anyone that is following along on our YouTube channel. Today's episode is not going to have video to go along with it. It will be audio only. And that's just because I'm traveling. I don't have all of my lighting and equipment with me. So rather than give you something really substandard that's not going to look very good anyway, I'm just going to record the audio because I do have my mic. So apologies in advance and a heads up to anyone that does like to watch the show on YouTube that today's episode is just going to be audio only. So this is a really interesting topic for a couple of reasons. And one of the main reasons that I think that it is an interesting topic is because Koreans themselves, when it comes to their hair care, they actually love a very wide range of foreign brands in addition to the domestic Korean brands. So there are a lot of brands that you will undoubtedly recognize that are really popular in Korean hair care. For example, L'Oreal Paris, brands like Head and Shoulders, Lush, Pantene, Batiste, who makes the dry shampoo, Kerasis, Wella Professional, although they have just announced that they are pulling out of the Korean market, and I will go into a little bit more on that later. Cloran, the Parisian brand, Moroccan Oil, Tangle Angel, which is from London, and an Italian brand, Urban Tribe. Aveda is also very, very popular. And then, of course, there are a whole lot of Japanese brands like Tsubaki, Fino, a lot of brands that are extremely popular, not only among Koreans themselves, but among Korean hairdressers and professionals that work in the industry. So a lot of those brands that I just read out, those foreign brands, they have actually picked up awards in Korea in 2024 as well, Glowpick Awards. Glowpick being one of these apps where people can go and rate and review, skincare, makeup, beauty, hair care, all of these different kind of products. So when it comes to any discussion on Korean hair care and the products that Koreans actually use, I just don't think we can discount how popular a lot of foreign brands actually are. So just kind of keep that in mind, is that you probably already have access to a lot of the brands and products that Koreans also love. I know a lot of people sometimes get really hung up on what's trending in Korea and what do Koreans actually love? They love foreign brands as well, particularly when it comes to their hair care. And a lot of the salons will be in partnership with foreign hair care brands and dyes, that they use in the salon when they are dyeing their clients' hair. A lot of the time, if I have a look what they're using, they're not using domestic Korean products. They're using foreign products. L'Oreal Paris is obviously a really, really big one that is very, very popular. And then, brands like Aveda and things like that, they are very popular in Korea. The other thing that I think is important to acknowledge if we're having a discussion about Korean products, particularly if you are not based in Korea and you want to try and get them overseas, is that and this is only my opinion, purchasing and shipping hair care products from overseas is arguably not the most sustainable practice. And the reason I say this is because unlike skincare and makeup products, hair care products tend to be very big, they're very bulky, and they are extremely heavy. And none of that is great for your carbon emissions in transit. And it's also just not generally the most sustainable way to consume hair care products. So I would say, if possible, I would recommend sticking to products that you can purchase locally, or at least try and buy them from local Korean beauty stores, because they probably shipped the products there via sea freight rather than air freight. Like if you are going on to, a website based overseas and purchasing stuff that's going to be air freighted to you in the hair care category, it's just not very sustainable. Like, I'm not going to put a more finer point on it than that, but suffice it to say that they are heavy, they are big, they are bulky. They tend to cost more as well to air freight, but they're also just not the most sustainable things to be air freighting. Now, the other thing that I am going to admit to, and this might be a little bit surprising, but I'm going to be honest and say that I actually don't love a lot of the Korean hair care products that I've tried. And most of my hairdressers in Korea actually do also recommend foreign products to me as well. So my current hairdresser has me on Japanese products that she's using for my hair. I've also been, recommended a variety of different ones, European or American brands. And what I found is that a lot of foreign products do tend to work really well for my hair as well. That's just a personal thing for me. I'm not saying that you won't love Korean hair care and that there aren't amazing products out there. That is just personally what I have found, having lived in Korea, for a very long time now and used a lot of different products. Where I personally think that Korea offers some really good alternatives is for things like hair essences, which don't really exist, I guess, outside of Korea, and also hair makeup products. But for things like shampoos, conditioners, and treatments and things like that, I don't tend to use domestic brands unless I'm going for the color depositing ones for like gray coverage. But again, I've used a lot of different ones of those products, and I don't necessarily think that they are the best for your hair, for keeping it in the best condition, particularly if you have long hair like me or you color your hair like I do. I think that they work a lot better for men. And, I've purchased hair loss and gray hair coverage products for my dad, the Korean ones that he uses, and he sort of just takes them back with him, in his suitcase after he's visited me in Korea. He uses them really sparingly though, and he enjoys them. Like a bottle of the shampoo, I was shocked when I went back to visit him in Australia. I'm like, how is this still alive? Like, this has been going for so long. But I guess he has a fraction of the hair that I have to begin with, and he uses products like that quite sparingly. So I think it also depends on, your hair, the type of hair you have, and if it's similar, I guess, to Korean hair, how different it is from Korean hair, all of those kind of things. So I just wanted to kind of get that out there first before we go and plunge into this super list of different products. Just because I think that is one of the reasons why I don't think Korean hair care has taken off in the same way as the skincare and makeup. Number one is the cost of, sending all of this stuff all around the world. It doesn't always make economic sense because people generally want to pay less for their shampoos and conditioners. There is a wide range of stuff that you can pick up from the dollar store, from supermarkets and things like that. And if you're going to be paying 2-3 times as much for Korean stuff, it doesn't always make financial sense for the people that are importing the products to do that. But then also I think there are some, key differences with the kind of products that, people make here compared to the kind of products that people are making overseas, and also just the strength of overseas brands and how well that they do in Korea as well. Now, just to circle back, I did mention that Wella is pulling out of Korea. So that was actually just announced recently. Wella and also Maybelline New York have both announced that they are pulling out of Korea and stopping Korean sales. And it is, people in the industry are sort of saying that that's just because the domestic market is so competitive at the moment. And of course, because of how well Korean beauty is doing globally, that it just doesn't make financial sense for them anymore. Fresh is another brand that has also announced that they are going to be withdrawing from the Korean market. And people are saying that they think they'll probably finish up their domestic sales around April of 2025. So look, it is that kind of market at the moment. If huge brands like Wella are pulling out of the market, that kind of tells you a lot. And also considering that won a Glow Pick Award in Korea in 2024, and obviously they still just can't make the business work. So I think that says a lot about the state of the Korean market at the moment. But I digress. Let us get into some of the most popular trending products. Now, the other thing I'm going to just point out at this juncture is that I'm not going to go into the foreign products that were like award-winning or super popular, just because I've mentioned the names above and I assume that, you can kind of get your hands on a lot of those kind of products because they sell them all around the world. So I'm just going to focus on the Korean products. And that was also what our listener, our YouTube subscriber was asking about. So let us get into that. Now, starting out with shampoos. And one of the really popular ones in 2024 with an average 4.73 star rating on Glowpick was Beyond's Argan Therapy Repairing Shampoo. And I noticed that a lot of the reviews were about the fragrance of the product. People seem to really, really like that. They said that the scent smells really luxurious and quite summery. They said it's like a floral, fruity scent. And the other thing that people liked about this product was that it is easy to bubble up and get like a nice foam going. So that one was actually the winner of a Glow Pick Award in 2024 as well, that repairing shampoo. Another popular brand that a couple of people have been asking me about lately is this Onob brand. And they had a couple of winning products last year, including their Deep Damage Repair Shampoo. So this one had an average 4.45 star rating on Glowpick. It won an award. People said that they liked that it cleaned their hair really well, which, you would hope for a shampoo, that it makes their hair soft. And then again, there were a lot of reviews about the fragrance. I think fragrance is something that is really important to Koreans for their hair care. People were saying that, the fragrance is long lasting. It's quite sweet smelling. And, some people mentioned that it's like a floral fragrance that smells quite luxe. So you'll notice a bit of a theme here when we're going through these products and taking a look at the reviews. And that is one of them, that people like things that smell, 고급스럽다 is the word that they were using in Korean, but it kind of translates to like a bit luxe, a bit bougie. So that kind of feedback came up again and again for a lot of different products in a lot of different categories. Now, another one was 107's Scalp Purifying Microbiome Shampoo. And this was another award winner. It had an average of a 4.51 star rating on Glowpick, and it uses 7-year-old aged fermented vinegar, which quite honestly sounds like it would smell disgusting, but I've used quite a few of their products and actually really enjoy this brand. It is a herbal or hanbang scented product, so it doesn't smell like fermented vinegar, thank God. Not too overpowering. People were describing it as fresh and soft, and said that it is a really nice product to use. So that was one of the popular ones. Now, when it gets into the hair loss shampoos, one of the really popular ones this year was, in 2024 rather, but, gosh, it's only February. We're pretty much still taking last year's rankings and results, I would say. Manufacturer's Bioxyl Anti-Hair Loss Shampoo. So this one specifically for hair loss. And it's a big problem in Korea, to be honest. I know that a lot of foreigners, when they move to Korea, they're like, oh my God, my hair is falling out. And it really does. Like, it falls out in clumps. It's a little bit of a problem. A lot of people use filters on their shower heads and whatnot. The water, I just think, is not what a lot of people, particularly foreigners, are used to. So hair loss is a pretty big problem in Korea. The other thing that I've noticed, and I don't mean this to sound snarky, but it's just that when you're riding on the subway in Korea, you're in close proximity to a lot of people. And if you're standing on the subway, you will be standing directly over other people's heads. So the other thing I've noticed is that a lot of people, women included, do have quite profound hair loss with like big patches that are kind of like bald. So I think this is like a very common problem that a lot of people have. I'm not sure how prevalent it is in other countries, but I've definitely noticed it. So this one, people said was improving their hair loss within 2 weeks. They noticed the improvement, which I think says something, and that it also cares both for the scalp and for itchiness on the scalp as well. They said that it makes their hair softer and stronger. Also that it gives volume to the hair and that it has a cooling effect. So that was Manyo Factory's Bioxyl Anti-Hair Loss Shampoo. And I will have all of these in the show notes and links to them as well where possible. So don't sort of stress about writing any of these down. The show notes, if you don't already know, if you have a look in your podcast feed, there will be like a link in there that says like click here to access the show notes for this episode. You can click on that. You can also do the same on YouTube as well, and it will take you over to the Style Story website. Style Story is who hosts the Korean beauty show, and the show notes will all be there for you, and you can kind of go through and pick out what you need to. So the next one was Dr. Groot's shampoo, and I just realized I didn't write this one down in English. So we're not quite sure what they were calling it. The Mobile Mildo Kangwa shampoo. I will have that in English when I do up the full show notes. Apologies. Volume Care. It's a volume care shampoo. Gosh, that was a fail. Sorry, guys. An average 4.35 star rating on Glowpick, and it was also the third place winner of a Glowpick award in 2024. So people were saying in the reviews that it improves hair loss and gives strength to the scalp. And also they liked that it was silicone free and pH balanced. So that one might be one to look at if you are looking for something to make your hair more voluminous. Now, another interesting category that I'm not sure if this exists overseas, I don't know that I've ever heard it, but a category of perfumed shampoos, which is kind of interesting because they already kind of do have their own scent, but this was like a specific category for ones that are, specifically for perfuming your hair and making it smell really nice. And the one that was really popular, a lot of people were talking about, was the Long Take Intensive Shampoo. But the scent of this one was described as either you love it or you hate it. It's like a woody scent. A lot of people said it lasts quite a while. So I guess it depends what you like in your, what you like your hair to smell like, whether you like this one or not. But it did actually pick up an award. So yeah, that was a little bit of an interesting category, I thought. I have noticed that people's hair smells really, really good. I don't know if that's because they're using necessarily the perfume shampoos or just ordinary shampoos. Like ordinary fragrant shampoo can make your hair smell pretty good, I guess. But anyway, before I get into our list of treatment products, of which there are many, I will just take this opportunity to let you know that if you do love K-beauty products, we would absolutely love for you to try our brand Jellico. We are 100% made, designed, safety tested by our team in Korea. We use all local suppliers for everything, from the designs to our boxes, our containers, Our formulations, our cosmetic chemistry is all done in Korea. And we specialize in making hydrating, nourishing, soothing, and skin restorative products. So our products aim to protect, enhance your skin, and they're really made and perfect for people that have dull skin, sensitive skin, dehydration, dryness, or mature skin. I think those are the people who really connect with our products and really love our products. We do have other products, for different skin types, for example, like our pimple patches for people that get breakouts, and our cleanser, which is an exfoliating cleanser and a foam cleanser in one, is also perfect for people that have oily skin. But a lot of people really love it who have, mature skin that are wanting to take care of their skin. So this is a little bit of a fun fact about us, but because of our packaging, and it's quite beautiful, some people have described it as a little bit kitsch, but I think some people sometimes think that a lot of the consumers of our brand are going to be younger people, but they're actually overwhelmingly women in their late 30s to 50s. And I think that that's because our formulations are really perfect for tackling the skin issues faced by women in their 30s and beyond. Our skin starts to dry out more with age. It becomes rougher, duller, a little bit lackluster, any of those kind of things. We've actually got a lot of really happy return customers that are like in their 60s and 70s, and they swear by our bubble tea steam cream, which is our moisturizer in particular. So that's just a little bit of a fun fact that might surprise you. I know when I speak to people about our brand, they're like, oh, like I assume that, you're targeting people in the 20s and, maybe even teens. And I'm like, absolutely not. Well, that's not who we're targeting, but that's definitely not who the Jellicoe customer is. So there you go. Just some fun facts about our brand. And I will have links to the show notes where you can purchase Jellicoe products. But basically we ship globally is the need to know. All right, so let's take a look at some of the hair treatment products. And first up was the category of hair masks. And honestly, these were all foreign products. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying at the beginning, that, Koreans do love them some foreign hair care. Tsubaki is the most popular of all of the hair masks in Korea, which is a Japanese brand. And honestly, I would agree with that. I think it's a great product. Another one that's quite similar, if you can get your hands on it, is the Fino hair mask. Very nourishing, very intensive, they're ideal for dry hair, and, for climates like Korea in winter, which just honestly, it's so bad for your hair. It just dries it out like nothing. But I think the thing with a lot of hair mask style products is that because of how rich they are, they can leave your hair kind of stringy and greasy. That can be a bit of a problem with a lot of these treatment style products, and particularly for hair like mine. So I have really thin hair, but there is a lot of it. Like hairdressers always comment on that. They're like, oh my God, like you have a lot of hair. Like it's very, very thin, but there's a lot of it. So I think if you have hair like mine, too many product and a lot of product in it can make it like very greasy, limp or flat. Whereas the Tsubaki hair masks are pretty much the opposite of that. Like it just leaves your hair really nice, soft, hydrated, but not sort of weighed down. So you can still go and style it. So look, not Korean products, but I think it needs to be said that all of the popular ones were. Now, one Korean product that was quite popular was a no-wash treatment, like a leave-in one, and that was Healing Bird's Treatment Deep Moisture. It had an average 4.38 star rating on Glowpick, and it was an award winner in 2024 as well. People liked that they said it made their scalp healthier, and after using it, their hair got softer, less tangled, and it just felt calmer. So there you go. If you're the kind of person that likes those leave-in treatments that you don't have to wash off, that might be one to look into. Another one that was really popular was the Mijangsen, which is, that's how you pronounce it in Korean. It is a French word. I think it's pronounced similarly, like mise, mise en scène or something like that. This is their Salon 10 Professional Seeker Protein Treatment. Another award winner, it had a really high rating actually, a 4.58 star rating on Glowpick, and users say that it made their hair softer and it provides basic care for damaged roots and was good for a damaged scalp as well. So I guess if you're going more for scalp care and damaged roots, that might be the pick compared to, say, the Healing Bird one, which was more about softer, less tangled hair. Now, Hair Scaler was another really popular thing in Korea, and this is basically to provide scalp scaling. So if you're wanting to clean, exfoliate your scalp and also give it like a nice cooling sensation, then the product was Steam Base's Tea Tree Scalp Water Scaler. It had a 4.65 star rating on Glowpick, which is very high. It was a winner as well. And it contains natural BHA, which is going to help to maintain control of sebum on the scalp as well. So that one was a really popular product. A hair tonic that is a very, very well-known product in Korea is Aromatica's Rosemary Root Enhancer. And that one is actually supposed to prevent hair fall and also improve scalp itchiness as well. So Aromatica has been a leader, I would say, in domestic hair products for a while, and this is a really well-known product of theirs. I think if you see it, a photo of it, you'll be like, I've seen that product before, because it's been around for a while. In the hair essence or serum category, Arnav was actually the winner in the silk oil essence. Their silk oil essence was the winner. It had a 4.46 star rating, and people were saying they love the fragrance of it and that it sticks around for a while, but it's not overpowering. So I guess if you're going for a product like that, April B used to make one that I actually really used to love, and then they discontinued it when they rebooted and rejigged their whole line. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but it was that was a hair essence product, and it lasted for a while as well. That was really nice. That was a little bit of a shame. When they redid their whole collection, some of like our bestsellers on Style Story and some of our personal favorites just disappeared, which was a real shame. They had some absolute bangers. Their eye cream was an absolute winner. The hair essence was really good. They had many, and they've all disappeared, which is a real shame. Now, look, before I get into the oils and mists and everything, just a reminder that if you do love the show, don't forget to share it with a friend. You can share it in your favorite Facebook group, or even just leaving us a rating and review would be amazing. And you can follow along with the show in even more places in 2025. We have a YouTube channel, which, like I mentioned, I'm trying to upload video of all of the episodes for people that prefer to watch. That is at the Korean Beauty Show podcast on YouTube. We have our TikTok. We've also got Instagram. I'm at lauren.kbeauty as well. And you can also sign up to receive all the latest K-Beauty news, events, and deals via our newsletter, the Style Story newsletter, which the link for that will be in the show notes, being that Style Story is still the one that hosts the show. And is also the exclusive distributor of Jellicoe in Australia. If you are kind of new and wondering what are all these different businesses, Style Story was my first business. That was the one that I set up as like a stall at the markets in Australia. In the early 2010s, we used to distribute hundreds of different Korean beauty products. We launched a lot of Korean beauty brands in Australia, including Beauty of Joseon. And after 10 years distributing other K-beauty brands, in 2024, we basically announced that we were just going to be focusing on growing our own brand, Jellicoe, and obviously the podcast going forward as well. So that is now what we do. We no longer distribute other Korean beauty brands for them. We are just a one-man band, as it were, with our own products, and then of course this podcast as well. All right, let us get into the rest of the products. So hair oil. Long Take's Sandalwood Intensive Hair Oil was a winner in 2024. It had a 4.33 star rating on Glowpick, and people seem to really love the fragrance of this one, the sandalwood, and also like they were saying that it had a really woody fragrance. So I guess if that's you and you like hair oils, that will be your kind of thing. Now, hair mist. There was a product by On-Of that is their water essence mist, and that is supposed to be really good for people that have dry scalps. It's like a protein water mist. So check that one out if that's your kind of jam. It had a 4.5-star rating on Glowpick and also did pick up an award as well. Now, for hairspray, the top two ones were foreign products, so not domestic Korean ones. And then the Korean entrant on the list honestly didn't sound that great, if I'm brutally honest. It was Cha Hong's Fix Volume Hairspray. It had a 3.96-star rating on Glowpick, which is not that great if you think about it, but it was a winner. So I don't know what that really says. And the best that people could kind of say about it was that it fixes your hair quite naturally. So I guess you're not going to get that hard, crunchy look to the hair, and that it has decent staying powder. Like that was kind of as highly as people were putting it for this Cha Hong hairspray. So look, I don't know. If it was me, I would probably skip it based on that. But it was a winner. So I guess it rates a mention. Now, on to another product that I do actually think is worth it, and this is in the hair makeup category. This is Etude's Pang Pang Hair Shadow. Now, if you are kind of scratching your head and going, what would you do with a product like this? It's really good for naturally blending your hairline. Basically, if you have an uneven hairline, like that recedes in part or has like a bit of a strange shape to it or something like that, this is the kind of product you need. And it's basically just like a powder that you dab into your hair and it sort of blends it out. Korean makeup artists love using products like this when they do your makeup. And, you know, the feedback is that it's really easy to use, which I would agree with, and that it doesn't cause breakouts. This is what I would say about it. If you're the kind of person that often ends up using root sprays to cover your grays, which I also do, I think it is a little more accurate than the root sprays for the front of your hair. But if you have a lot of grays in your part or something like that that you need to cover, I still don't think that this is the best product for it, depending on how many grays, of course, you have. If you have as many as me, you're going to need something a little bit more heavy-duty. I think I would recommend this mainly for people that need to fix their hairline, uneven or patchy hairline, or people that have minimal grey hairs. If you have a lot of grays, I still think that as messy as they can be, the spray options have better coverage. That is my brutally honest opinion. So I would use this on a day that I'm doing like a ponytail and I just want to fix up a couple of little things at the front of my hair. I will use this Etude Pang Pang Hair Shadow. If I am parting my hair in the middle, parting my hair on the side, and my roots are all showing through, I will still use a spray to cover them up. That is my 10 cents worth for whatever it's worth. But suffice it to say that that was a very, very popular product and that Koreans really, really like that one. Now, when it comes to your colors, bleaches, and perms, a really popular one was the Moremo Keratin. That was the Glowpick Award winner. It had a 4.03-star rating. However, I'm not entirely sure why it was so popular, because when you read the reviews in Korean, a lot of people said that they didn't quite get the color that they wanted from it, or that it didn't change their hair color much, or that it didn't really last that long. Like, people were saying things like it turned out better than they thought it would, which is like not saying much, right? And I think when you see this kind of thing, that is when I start to kind of scratch my head a little bit and wonder maybe slightly about the objectivity of apps like Glowpick. And it's not the only one. There are others. I honestly think they kind of all suffer from the same issue. Like, you kind of wonder whether there aren't other factors at play in which products win certain categories. Now, obviously, I'm not suggesting that and saying that that's the case here. But it just kind of makes you wonder. Like, it won an award. It's apparently got like all of these stars. But when you read the reviews themselves, it's like no one is saying that this is amazing. Like, what's going on here? So that one was a little bit of a head scratcher for me. But that was kind of like the gist of what is trending in domestic Korean hair care, I guess. In addition to all of the foreign brands that I mentioned, in the beginning. Obviously, there's lots of different kinds of shampoos. You've got your repair ones, purifying ones, anti-hair loss, volume. You've got your perfume shampoos. And then if you get down to treatments, you've got your leave-in ones, the more professional ones for scalp care, hair scalers, tonics, essences, serums, oils, and mists. Hairspray, obviously, which is a staple. Hair makeup, which, I don't know if many non-Korean brands make products like that. Certainly the Korean ones are very good and they are very cheap. So, I would have no problem in recommending any of them. But that's kind of like the state of play for where it's at in Korea. I think, if I think about the kind of products that I see on the shelves in supermarkets and stuff like that, they're honestly just Korean versions of the kind of products that you would see on the shelves in your own home country. They're the kind of things that if you tell a hairdresser, I'm using this, they'll be like, oh my God, you can't use that. You have to use, something else. And then they'll recommend something to you. But for what it's worth, salons and stuff like that, and I am at the salon very regularly because I have to color my hair, I have to color my grays. I don't see them using a whole lot of different Korean products. I see a lot of foreign products being used in the Korean hair care space. That's just the honest truth. So I hope that you have found this episode useful, that you've maybe learned something new that you didn't already know. I don't know. Found a new product category that you didn't realize existed. I hope that this answered our YouTube subscribers question, and if it did, I'm happy to hear it. If it didn't, or if you would like more, obviously please just feel free to come and find me. If there's something in particular that I missed that you wanted to know a little bit more about, or a brand in particular that you have heard about, it's not that I haven't tried things. I have. It's just that I think I've kind of come to the point where I found what works for my hair. And that it just does tend to be, I really do like a lot of Japanese products for my hair. That's just a personal preference. But seeing as this is a Korean beauty show, and to be honest, I'm not up to scratch on everything that's going on in the Japanese hair care market. So I couldn't really do an episode like this on Japanese products, even if you wanted me to. I am not the best person to ask for that. But I thought I would just caveat and mention that in the episode as well. All right, guys, I'm going to finish it up here because I have a bunch of other stuff that I need to get through in my workload today. I will be back in your ears in the next fortnight. And until then, I will see you on Jellicoe.